Making her way to the ring for this Ultra Women's Championship matchup. Britt Baker making her PCW Ultra debut, but she is no stranger to the champion Tessa Blanchard. These two have hooked it up several times. They've gone to war. And an interesting fact about Britt Baker, she recently completed dental school, so she's Dr. Baker, I'm told, and a lot of her attacks will be to the jaw of the champion. I think Britt Baker just trying to drum up some dental business.
Yeah, maybe you should make an appointment for that halitosis you got here in the booth, Todd. Either that or you're eating too much mackerel.
Set for the arrival of the champion, and there she is, undeniable, Tessa Blanchard. As you mentioned, going to put not only the Ultra Women's Championship, but the Crash Lucha Championship on the line, so this matchup couldn't be any higher stakes. And the champion taking quite a risk, because I'm told she comes in perhaps favoring her knee, tons of battles as of late. We'll see if the champ can get it done.
Tessa Blanchard, an accomplished athlete in this business. I've gone on record as to saying she's one of the best in the world. Let's send it on now to Dan Masters for the official announcement.
Wrestling fans, this contest is a one-fall match with a 60-minute time limit. When the bell rings, the official in charge of the action, our senior referee, Rick Knox. This bout is for the Ultra Women's Championship. Introducing first. This contest is for the Crash and PCW Ultra Women's Championship. Introducing first our challenger. She hails from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Britt Baker. Her opponent, she is our current reigning, defending PCW Ultra and the Crash Women's Champion from Charlotte, North Carolina, the undeniable Tessa Blanchard.
Stage is set for our first of two championship contests here tonight. Two titles on the line, so high risk for the champion and the opportunity for extremely high reward for the challenger, Britt Baker, who has an opportunity to walk away a double champion just as Tessa Blanchard comes into this matchup. The women's division has really exploded here on the scene at PCW Ultra, and much in thanks to the champion, a true class act, an incredible athlete who's competed all around the world. And how impressive has Blanchard been? Won the title by defeating Chelsea Green, overcame the hot mess in that matchup as well, and then scored her first title defense at Opposites Attack, taking on and defeating the powerhouse powerlifter Rachel Ellering, and now must face a familiar foe again in Britt Baker.
Yeah, and honestly, Todd, you didn't even talk about the fact that Tessa Blanchard is wrestling in Canada. She's wrestling in Mexico. She's wrestling all over the United States. She's well-traveled. She has an injured right knee. We're not sure how that's going to look today, but she wants to start off with a bit of sportsmanship.
Little styling and profiling there by Tessa Blanchard. course, her father, Tully, a member of the legendary Four Horsemen, along with the likes of Ric Flair, Arn Anderson. And Tessa Blanchard starts to go to work. You mentioned the knee. We'll see if that becomes a factor, because the knee is a true weapon of Blanchard, one that has paid dividends because she loves that knee strike, the Magnum, as she calls it, named for Magnum TA. And we'll see if she's able to utilize it. She might have to change her game plan offensively. And Britt Baker, look at that, making the champion flinch in the early going.
I spoke at length with Tessa Blanchard recently, and she talked about the unique upbringing that she has and how that's influenced her in her wrestling career, how it's influenced some of the women in different locker rooms and how they've treated her, and how she's had to persevere in many ways in our sport that many people don't really understand. And she has put a solid game through here into the wrestling ring, and I think she seems to be able to do everything well.
Well, she couldn't take down Britt Baker in the early going. She went for a couple of arm drags, went for a backslide, and came up empty, going to the well several times. Variation of a sling blade there by the challenger, Britt Baker, and the champion rolling to the outside. I don't know if it was the momentum or trying to take a little time out, but the challenger getting the best of the champion in the early going.
Yeah, Tessa's smart. She's going to go outside of the ring. She's going to take a breath, maybe 2 or 3. Tessa's going to go at her pace. There's a reason she's women's champion here in the United States and also in Mexico. I can imagine she'll win a championship in Canada very soon.
Well, just had a great outing in Canada as part of Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. Got a victory over Allie Impact, one of her nemesis. And just, she has been on top of her game no matter where she goes, but especially putting the Ultra women's title on the map here in PCW Ultra. She's been a great champion, but how long can she keep this up, this pace, the amount of battles, and takes the challenger right into the guardrail on the outside?
Yeah, a violent collision from Britt Baker into that rail as Tessa follows it up with a choke with that boot straight on the throat. And now she's asking the referee to count, and this is brilliant by Tessa Blanchard. She's going to keep this championship no matter what. I don't think she'll be out for a 10 here, but that's smart.
Yeah, Dr. Baker was momentarily out of the office, courtesy of the champion, and Tessa Blanchard will try and hold on to that title by any means necessary. And again, the champion's advantage, because Britt Baker has to win the title by pinfall or submission in the ring if she wants to become not only the Ultra champion, Ultra Women's champion, but the Crash Lucha champion as well.
What a night it would be for Britt Baker to walk in with no titles, walk in with no reputation really here at PCW Ultra specifically, and to walk out with 2 championships. I mean, for Britt Baker, she has an incredible opportunity in front of her, and it's a credit to Tessa, a fighting champion. These 2 women going back and forth now, and wow, Tessa runs in and eats a boot.
A fighting champion indeed, but at what point is the champ ripe for the picking when the battles that she has had lately become a factor? Oh, a variation of the Magnum there. Caught Britt Baker.
That was violent, Todd.
It could be over. Wow. How did Baker dig down deep and kick out of that? The Magnum has put away countless opponents.
Such a violent maneuver by Tessa Blanchard there. Those knees landing directly into the face of Britt Baker, but if you look at, you can look at that right knee, she actually has tape underneath. Just underneath the knee pad does Tessa Blanchard. And you could see that tape, and how many times could she try to deliver an offense with that knee before she hurts herself?
That's a good point. We'll see what kind of speed she can generate. Looking pretty good here, but nobody home for that short back elbow. And the champion feeling it, and look at that. A little shot down to the knee does some damage, although it was the opposite of the injured knee. Now look at the style and profile, perhaps figure 4.
But can she pull this off?
Nope, elects for the Indian Deathlock instead.
And that's in, Todd. If you look there, that she's got great leverage on both legs, and she's using her left leg to push the quadriceps and knee away from Britt Baker in ways that you're not supposed to get your leg pushed. I mean, that's hyperextending the knee of Britt Baker, and Baker doing everything to fight out.
Tessa turns into the pressure now, and now transitions to strikes, the ground and pound, as the champion is still all tied up at the moment. So great wrestling here being displayed by Tessa Blanchard. really applying the pressure now. As the arms are seized as well, it makes it very tough for Baker to get out of here. She's really close to the ropes, but she doesn't have an appendage
Britt Baker
to get there.
Have a way to even.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. But able to roll and get to that bottom rope. But I mean, she didn't have a way to even tap out. She was all tied up, Todd. You have to quit verbally in that scenario.
But again, at this point, you see the effects there on the knee of the champion as well. So a bit of a sacrifice play. We'll see if it pays off. Does she have the ability and the foundation with that knee? She didn't there to get the suplex.
Ooh.
Nice swinging neck breaker of sorts by the challenger, but the challenger's leg paid the price in that Indian deathlock as well.
Yeah, she's really favoring that left knee as Britt Baker. Tessa Blanchard applied a ton of pressure, and that maneuver was locked in for 30, 40 seconds. You could do a lot of damage, tear the ligaments within that knee. Knox is at 6 already, Todd.
Well, you know, and if you're the champion, maybe you just elect to stay down here, a double count out, the title would stay home. But I think Tessa Blanchard has more pride than that. As she says, she's undeniable. She doesn't come in there to merely hold on to the gold. She wants to prove a point. She wants to prove that she's the very best in the sport today.
Look at Blanchard. She wants more. Blanchard, she's absolutely one of the toughest women in this division. And these two girls now throwing big forearms at each other. And beautiful clothesline by Baker, and follows it up by another one. Britt Baker's fired up here, Todd.
Sure is, and the challenger's got the champion all kinds of off balance at this point. Another big shot. There's a beautiful reverse neck breaker. Used all the momentum off the ropes. Uh-oh, look out here. Famouser, rocker, dropper, call it what you will, but call it effective. And a close call there for Baker. Dr. Baker will go to work on the jaw and make you pay the price.
Tessa doing everything she could to kick out there. She put everything in that kick out, and she wants to take these championships back to her mantle at home.
And her challenger, Dr. Baker, trying to maybe take a couple teeth and take a couple titles, because not one but 2 championships on the line here. That's sound the alarm. It's got the double underhook in. Hands are seized. What's the challenger looking for here? Nice takedown defense. A lot of power in that body of the champion. Wow, just ragdolls the challenger down into a variation of the roll of the dice. And coming in with this knee injury, the champion gambling, and especially when you figure she's putting both titles on the line here, Christian.
Well, she's a fighting champion, Todd. I mean, Tessa Blanchard showing that she has the courage to come into PCW Ultra, win the championship, and then put it on the line, and not just that, but the Crash title too. And she's in a great spot now to retain both championships. And no, 2.5 there.
Off of a beautiful cutter there by Tessa Blanchard. Undeniable perhaps, but she was denied the victory there because Baker digs down deep and kicks out. And now you see that unfamiliar uncertainty by the usual very confident Tessa Blanchard.
Look at Tessa now. She's going out. Will she go high risk here, Todd?
Got to be careful. Can that knee hold up? If not, this could be disastrous for the champion. Off the top. Oh, man, and that knee could buckle there, but looks to be getting around okay, except for that kick.
Big forearm to follow up. Now up into the fireman's carry position, into a cutter. Beautiful there by Britt Baker. Can she win the title? And no. Oh, but Tessa rolls out, Todd, and she rolls directly into a submission maneuver. And look at Britt Baker now.
Submission, one of the 2 ways that Britt Baker can take home the gold, trying to rearrange the facial features of the champ.
And Tessa's tied up good here. That right arm is trapped. And Britt Baker ripping Tessa. My God, her face is just, oh no, and just a 2 count. Todd, her thumbs in the mouth of Britt Baker, trying to rip the face open. I mean, it was such a terrible position there.
Just giving her a dental exam. She just graduated from dental school, partner. Back up to their feet, and I'll tell you what, The champion, Tessa Blanchard, knows that once again she is in one heck of a fight, and that has been par for the course for her tenure here in PCW Ultra. But she's been undeniable thus far. Will that be the case here with the gold on the line and a whole lot of it?
Baker stalking Tessa up to the top, and now these women striking as they stand in a precarious position 8 to 10 feet off the top of the canvas, even further from the floor. This is not where you want to be, Todd Kennelly. You need to find a way to get back into the center of the ring and get a pinfall.
Certainly so, and the champ gets the better of that striking exchange and has the challenger in a precarious position because Blanchard has the high ground.
Oh, Tessa! A flying code breaker, incredible by Blanchard.
Magnum off the top, but the challenger rolls out of the ring. What a lucky break, or is it great ring awareness by Britt Baker? Because this thing undeniably would have been over if that was center
Todd.
of the ring.
There's no question. If Tessa was a little quicker to get the pin, to drag Britt Baker to the center, she would have got the 1, 2, 3. She would have retained both of her championships.
But it might be double jeopardy for Baker. She wasn't pinned, so this match continues, but Blanchard holds on the gold with a countout victory as well, and we're over halfway there, but Blanchard,
what is this?
The champion gonna chase here, Christian.
Tessa breaks the count. She might have gotten a 10 count victory there. That would have sealed the championship for her. Instead, you could see how angry she was, and she just went outside. This is what I'm talking about, Todd, a fighting champion. She brings her back in the ring. She's gonna get a victory the right way.
That remains to be seen. She hasn't been able to put away Baker just yet.
Yeah, but Todd, she could have got the count out. I mean, she literally went back into the ring with her opponent.
I agree.
What a badass. And Tessa seems like she might
no, it might cost her here. The championship's gonna go right out the window.
Oh my God.
Baker with the super kick. Talk about rearranging the jaw.
And will Tessa Blanchard regret what she did? She brought Britt Baker back into the ring when
Dr. Baker doesn't need laughing gas because she put her to sleep with that. No,
my goodness. And the drama here, I mean, many would say that Tessa Blanchard should be walking back up the ramp with her championships right now. But instead, this match continues.
Judgment call that will be second guessed if Tessa Blanchard loses not 1 but 2 titles. Fireman's carry now. Britt Baker, the champion, out the back door, scores with the DDT. Beautiful counter. Jake the Snake Roberts would be proud of that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the match, and still PCW Ultra and the Crash Women's Champion, the undeniable Tessa Blanchard.
Well, partner, Blanchard does it again. Her lineage, incredible, and she is becoming a legend very much in her own right. Came in not 100%, put 2 titles on the line, was in one hell of a fight in this title defense, but dug down deep and got the job done.
And on a night where Jake the Snake adorns the halls of the PCW Ultratorium, and the Hall of Famer made a great speech before the show, and you see that she wanted to put her opponent away, and she did it with a DDT. And how fitting is that? With Jake the Snake here, a DDT to retain your 2 championships. Incredible by Tessa Blanchard. What an effort here.
My dedication, the drop of my goals is manifested. Writing all my visual focus with all these questions. OG told me that life is not a game. No matter how many shots